Hey everybody, it's Amy back in the Replay Kitchen. I'm here with Rachel and Gina from our marketing team, and we have a special guest we're going to introduce. We're very excited to have her in the kitchen today, and we're also going to introduce you to a new product line that we'll be distributing for 2017. So let's get started with Rachel.
Alright, hi guys. Thanks for joining us here in our Replay Kitchen. So I'm here with our friend Deanna. She makes these beautiful cookies. She's actually local to Winter Park. We're in Winter Park as well. We found her a while back. She made these amazing cookies for us that looked like our utensils. You might have seen on our Instagram. They're so great, and we just had to bring her in to show how she decorates these cookies just in time for the holidays, because I know everybody starts decorating with their kids, and you've been seeing all these beautiful cookies on Instagram. You probably thought that you wouldn't be able to do the same thing, but she's going to show us some tips and tricks so you can do these beautiful cookies with your little ones. Before we get started, I just wanted to talk with Deanna and get to know her a little bit. So how did you get started baking cookies?
Well, about 6 years ago, a really good girlfriend of mine adopted a baby, and we had a big party, of course. And I wanted to do some personalized cookies for her adoption, and I just really wanted them to be special and from the heart, but I wanted them to look really pretty, so I started practicing for the party, and I made all of these cookies for her adoption party, and people went wild. They loved the way they tasted, and they thought they were so pretty that they asked me if I would do orders. And it was kind of an unexpected, very organic growth of a very small business, but I just started doing party after party, and then eventually started taking orders, and then opened a real actual company. And it's actually a charitable company, so all of our proceeds do go to a local Orlando charity.
That's amazing. And if someone wanted to order some cookies, how would they do that?
The best thing to do is go to my Instagram account. We'll give you that information later, and just email me directly. My email address is on my Instagram link, so that's typically the best way, because no cookie the order is the same.
Yeah.
So I like to communicate directly with the customer and find out exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, and you're super busy, so if someone wanted cookies, put it in way in advance.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a side gig for me.
Yeah.
You know, I have a very full-time job as well, so I do this on the side really just as a charitable act. And I have to take orders months in advance. So if you're going to have a big party or a wedding, please don't call me about it for next week, because we really do need a lot of lag time.
Right. Okay, so let's get started. Show us how you decorate and how you prep before you're going to decorate your cookies.
Okay, sounds good. So these are the cookies that I'm using, and Rachel has the recipe for the cookies and also the royal icing that we're using.
Right, so it's on our blog at replayreport.com. You can actually get there on our website. You just, at the top bar, there'll be blog, and it's going to be one of the first recipes up there.
So it's a classic recipe. I feel like most people think it's pretty foolproof. The one thing I will tell you about this recipe is it takes a long time. So from the time you start baking these cookies to the time they're finished and they look like this, literally could take you a couple of days. Definitely 6 or 7 hours. So if you get a wild hair and decide that you want to bake cookies with your kids for Christmas, I would not recommend doing it all in one Saturday afternoon, because the kids are going to be, probably crying by the time the process is over. It's going to take so long. Your kitchen will be a wreck. I really recommend doing your dough first, and kids love to help make dough. So I do dough first, and then the second day, or maybe that afternoon, roll out all the dough and cut the cookies with your cookie cutters. And then the third day, I would decorate the cookies. And then that's kind of like the big extravaganza.
Right.
That's what everybody's really looking forward to. But I would not try to do this all in one day. It's just too much. Even for somebody like me, I wouldn't make my dough all the way to completion all in one day.
Right.
So I'd recommend doing a little bit at a time.
I did want to ask you, so we were talking before we started this live, and I asked about, would you be able to use like the pre-made sugar cookie dough? And she was letting me know that really they don't turn out the exact shape that you're trying to cut them out as, so they won't turn out like this beautiful snowflake. It'll more be like a circle. Right, so you suggest making the cookies from scratch.
I do, and it is kind of a laborious process, but for me, knowing exactly what goes into it, the recipe you'll see on Rachel's list is 7 ingredients. It's got, no extras, nothing that you don't want your kids eating. So we know what's going into it, number one. But number two, the other thing is that I haven't tried a store-bought sugar cookie recipe that turns out like this. And if I did, I would give you give it to you right away because it would make life easy. But I don't think that you're going to get a good result. So I would recommend home making them if you want them to look, like crisp edges like this and really be able to, know what you're going to get.
Okay.
So let's start with the decorating. So the first thing is what's called flooding. Now this is a technique where you actually cover the whole sugar cookie with icing. Now this can be done a few ways. You can spoon the icing on. You can actually turn the sugar cookie over and dip it in icing. Some people do that. I like to use these squeeze bottles because they're reusable, so it's no waste. But a mom at home could use piping bags that you buy from Michael's, or you could use a Ziploc bag and cut the corner off of the bottom of it, which, it's really kind of a convenient and easy way not to have an investment in, in your cookies. So I'm going to show you just how to flood the cookies with these squeeze bottles, and if you want to try one too, Rachel.
Hey, Gina, you want to come decorate some cookies with us?
Come on, let's get Gina over here too.
Yes.
Okay, let's get you going, and then do a few different colors here.
You're definitely going to win this one, girlfriend.
All right.
I'll do a little one.
Okay, that's
Do
fine.
the big one.
So I recommend just starting on an edge and do an outline. So outline the entire sugar cookie. Here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the poker.
So all you're doing here is outlining, and we're going to use the same consistency of icing for the outline as we are the center. So now you've got your outline, or I do. The girls are.
Yeah, we are struggling. We're barely now.
Hey, look, it's all about having fun and being creative. Doesn't have to be perfect.
This is what your kids is gonna look like.
Okay, we just fill this
Then
in.
start filling it in, and just you want the edges to meet the middle, and then without spilling over the sides. And then you can always use a toothpick or something to kind of make the icing more smooth. And you can also tap the sugar cookie on
Oh, that's a good idea.
a flat surface to get it to smooth out too,
Okay.
like I'm doing. Kind of wiggle it back and forth.
Right.
I should have picked a small cookie.
How we
out
doing?
of the world.
It's beautiful.
See, so like in this instance, you could actually even smooth it out with
Please show us,
with
yes.
something.
Perfect.
So yeah, see. It's
Why do I get those little holes?
Now at this point, I would shake it
Okay.
Shake it.
and then drop it.
Oh, okay.
Shake it and drop it, Rach. You know how to do that.
We'll be doing that afterwards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So this is exactly what your little one's cookie is going to look like. And that's what your cookie is.
Now, one thing that I always tell folks is that once you've flooded a sugar cookie, don't touch it. Because if you want it to be really satiny smooth like this, if you squeeze the sugar cookie, it'll make little micro cracks in your icing, and you will not end up with like a real satiny finish like this. So really avoid the temptation of picking up, moving around, and showing them off. So now we're just going to fast forward. So what I did was I made these about 8 hours. Well, I made the cookies yesterday, and then I iced them about 8 hours ago. I let them dry without touching them before I brought them here to demo this. That process, if you want the icing to really show up, like your decorated icing to really show up on the base cookie icing, I would recommend letting this dry for 4, 6, 8 hours. I do 8 hours. So I know that sounds like a long time, but it's the perfect thing to kind of do overnight. Yeah, I see you're getting it. But see, I mean, it's a homemade sugar cookie. It looks really nice. It looks good. Don't worry. So now we're going to do some actual decorating here.
Okay.
Now, I will show you guys. I'm going to show you kind of an easy. Let me just get my icing started here. I'm going to show you just an easy snowflake that I like to do. Just about anybody can do it. So you start on one end and you follow all the way to the opposing side of the snowflake. Then you do it again I drank coffee today, so my hands are really shaky. I don't drink coffee when I actually decorate cookies because that is a no-no. Yeah, that's a tip for you. Okay, so that's the base of your snowflake, and so it's going to kind of look like this one when it's done. So I'll just show you a couple of lines on how to get it started here, so that you have some idea of where I'm going with this.
Yeah, it's actually a lot simpler than I thought.
So basically, you're just doing like some little arrows.
Yep.
If you go to Michael's and buy like piping bags or bottles, and you want to use the metal tip that I'm using, it's a Wilton #1. You'll see it in the icing section.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do a ton of details here because you don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. Plus, I'm super shaky because of my latte. No lattes.
Beautiful.
So then, because everybody goes crazy for sprinkles, I do recommend some sprinkles, and that'll kind of finish it off.
And that'll stick on there pretty well with the...
Yeah, the icing is like glue. I mean, it tastes good, but it really does make things stick. So this is what you'll have.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple, easy to do, and I mean, really anybody could, probably follow that little pattern of
Yes.
kind of like arrows is what it looks like.
And you guys, look at these sprinkles. Look how amazing.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a thing for sprinkles. I think most kids love tossing sprinkles all over cookies, so what you might want to do is, have them base icing the cookies and then just toss sprinkles on them, because that's really fun too.
All right, so do we have any questions that you guys want to ask Deanna? Please let us know, and she's going to answer any questions you guys have. Aim, is there any questions?
Yes, we have some here. Okay, let's see. So let's talk bake sheets. What is your favorite bake sheet, or do you have any suggestions for what we should cook on?
Well, I don't have a specific baking sheet that I recommend. I'm not particularly picky about the sheet itself, but one thing I do recommend is investing in a Silpat. You can order them online or get them at a lot of like Williams-Sonoma sells them. You can get them at a lot of baking stores. And basically it's a silicone liner that you can put into your pan so that it pretty much makes any pan like pretty, a really good pan. It keeps the cookies from burning on the bottom. It's a nice golden brown, but they don't get too dark, and that's pretty nice.
Give us a thumbs up if you've ever burnt a sheet pan of cookies. Right here.
Yeah.
So that's a great tip. I've seen them at the stores, but I didn't really know if
what they're for. Yeah.
So now that I know, I'm definitely gonna go pick one of those up.
Yeah, they're not expensive, and it's
Yeah.
just an easy way to make sure that you don't burn your cookies. They don't end up with brown bottoms, and then pretty on the top, but burned on the bottom.
Right.
And we have another one here. Where can we go to find out where to find all these great supplies and the different vendors for like sprinkles and things?
Oh, that's a good question. So what I would recommend is, she's going to give you my Instagram at the end of this. Go to my Instagram, and most of the vendors that I use or that I buy things from are listed in my Instagram. So if you just scroll through the gallery, you can see different sprinkles, you can see the bottles that I use, a lot of different supplies, and the vendor will be listed right there. So it's a good way to be able to connect anyone on social media with a vendor right away.
And I actually have a question. So how long does icing last when you make the icing?
That's a good question. I would say I've never really had it for longer than about 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
So I'm not positive, but none of the ingredients are perishable. It's confectioner's sugar, either meringue powder or egg whites, and they're pasteurized. If you use egg whites, use pasteurized one to avoid any type of disease transmission. And water and coloring. Not coloring, flavoring, vanilla or almond extract. Do you have the meringue powder over there? You do? If you send that over my way, I'll show them to you. Some people do ask what is meringue powder. You can buy this at Michael's. There's a debate on it. Some people don't like the way it tastes. I think it tastes fine and it's sweet, but some people complain, so they would prefer to use egg whites for their icing. But some people don't like the idea of having raw egg whites in their icing. So there's a little bit of a debate that goes on. But if I'm going to recommend one, I would just recommend the Wilton meringue powder. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, they all carry it.
And how do you roll out your dough? Do you use an old-fashioned wooden pin, or do you use a?
I have both. So wooden pin or new silicone pin, fancy marble pin. I have a few different ones. The big thing that I would recommend about rolling out dough is instead of covering your whole counter in flour and making a huge mess, what I recommend is rolling out parchment paper or wax paper on your counter, put your dough on it, put another layer of parchment paper or wax paper on top of that, and roll your dough out between the two pieces so you don't have to add flour to your recipe, because adding flour, just changes the recipe that was original. So,
and how do they taste?
They're so delicious.
I'll
let you eat one after this.
Beautiful and don't taste so good. So.
I know, that's a good point. So what makes the sugar cookies good are butter and sugar.
Yeah.
But if you have too much flour in your recipe, then they just taste like bleh. I mean, they don't taste good. So I think really the mix of enough flour so that they don't spread all over the pan and melt, but enough sugar so that they taste good. And of course, butter makes everything good. But the recipe that Rachel posted, I think it's a really delicious recipe. I mean, I personally could eat the whole thing of dough. I love it.
I'm going to try it for holiday cookies for my family next weekend. I'm excited to try it and try out my new skills. But you guys, this is her Instagram and Facebook handle. So go follow her. She does really beautiful tutorials all the time, really beautiful cookie inspiration pictures. I love, my favorite actually is like your floats, your swan floats.
Those are so fun.
I'm so jealous. I wish I could, have a swan float cookie.
Well, and actually even the vendor for like the cutters, like for instance, the summer floaty cookies, I have a vendor and she is fantastic. She's a small business right here in Florida. She hand makes all of the cutters. You can buy them. If you go to my Instagram and look at that, you can see her too. I mean, there really are some great vendors to be connected with on Instagram.
Yeah, those are super great.
And they're all on my page.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna talk about our brand new replay recommendation. You guys are gonna love it. You might have seen it, and we're gonna demonstrate it for you. But don't forget, this is Deanna's Instagram and Facebook handle. Go and follow her. And thank you for coming and
it's a
chatting
pleasure.
with us.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for joining.
So fun. We're going to devour these cookies. When we get out of
Here, I'll move these out of the
I
way.
have a question, Deanna. How do you store them?
So while they're drying, what I would recommend is I buy the 2-gallon, like for home use, I would buy the 2-gallon Ziploc bags and put all the cookies, even if you want to cover them while they're drying, so nothing gets on them. You can even seal off the bag and just prop it up with something to keep the bag off of the cookies.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Okay,
Makes it
perfect.
simple.
Thank you.
Awesome. So speaking of small businesses and supporting small businesses and small entrepreneurs, some of you may have seen, we're super excited about this new product that we have, who is developed by an Australian mom, and we are now carrying on the Replay site. It is the Lunch Punch. So as many of you are often inspired by our page and others on Instagram, creative lunches are great, right? It gets kids to be adventurous eaters. It's very exciting. We like to make mealtime fun, and we've got a very easy way to do it here. We've got the Lunch Punch. These are great, and we decided to talk about them today because they're great for cookies. Food cutters, very simple and easy to use. This is the Lunch Punch here. They're great for cookies, they're great for melon, they're great for tortillas, pancakes, sandwiches. Play-Doh for the little ones to play with, and just absolutely easy to use and fantastic. Dishwasher safe, fully recyclable at the end of their use, and we have 4 different designs available now on our website.
And they don't cut all the way through. If you see the layers of cutting, so you get impressions and cut through. So you can decorate or not decorate. They're really fun. They're really innovative. We use them with our plates. And they don't have to be perfect, because moms that have tested them for us tell us that if the child actually makes the little sandwich and it may not look so pretty, it's the best sandwich they've
ever eaten, right? Yeah, absolutely. These are super fun for getting the kids involved. So if you have an older toddler or elementary age kid, really fun for them to get them in the kitchen and get them helping making their lunch. We have 4 different designs. We've got Transit, We've got cakes, fairy tales, and cars.
Right, drive.
Yes, and drive. So each package comes with 2 cookie cutters for you. All 4 are available on our website, and today we have a special for you. If you need to add some flat plates to your collection, folks, one of our newer items, you can get a set of either the bright or the bold flat plates and a cookie cutter to come along with it, food cutter, cookie cutter, to come along with it for $27.99 and free shipping. So this special will be for 24 hours only, you guys. So go ahead and get these, give them a try, and be sure to tell Santa about these cookie cutters because I'm sure he would be thrilled to learn about these for stockings. How fun would that be? And thank you so much for joining us today.
And
we
you
hope
guys-
you enjoyed.
I'm
Come
going to
in.
be Santa. We're going to be giving away each set on Monday. So if you're watching, now you know
Yep.
you have the inside ticket. So
Inside ticket.
watch on Facebook. I'm going to make a post of one of these great pictures that we've been taking while we're doing this live. And we're doing a giveaway. So we're going to give away one of these sets with the transit, one of these sets with the cakes.
And there's a brand new construction set coming out in 2017
Yes.
also.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
See us next time. Merry
Enjoy your
Christmas. Happy
evening.
holidays.